Good morning, students. Today's topic is economics and economy. So what is economics? Economics is a social science concerned with the production, distribution and consumption of goods and services. It studies how individuals, businesses, governments and nations make choices on allocating resources to satisfy their wants and needs. As we know, human wants are unlimited, but the means to satisfy them are limited. So everybody tries to maximize his level of satisfaction. Like producer tries to maximize his output, society tries to maximize their social welfare, and consumer tries to get maximum satisfaction out of his limited income. So basically, economics is all about allocating limited resources to get maximum satisfaction. There are basically two elements of economics. First one is scarcity and the second one is choices. So what is scarcity? Human wants and needs are unlimited, but there is not an unlimited supply of goods that human wants. So scarcity will always exist. Or we can term that scarcity is that situation under which the resources one person have is always less than what he wants. For example, imagine yourself as the richest person on the planet. Can you get anything you wish to get at any point of time? The answer is no. The reason being, no matter how much resources you have, these resources must be scarce in relation to your work. And the next one is choice. Choice is the outcome of scarcity. Choices emerge when limited resources are to be used for the satisfaction of unlimited one. For example, suppose you have rupees 20,000 in the banks at the end of month. You face choices about how to spend that money. You can pay your rent and your utility bills, buy groceries and maybe head to a movie. Alternatively, you can book a flight to Goa. You can't do all these things because your resources are limited. You have to forego certain things in favor of something you want. So, scarcity causes choices and choices implies decision making, and decision making relates to uses of limited resources in a manner that consumer maximizes satisfaction. So the next is microeconomics and macroeconomics. So whenever the problems related to choices are studied at individual level, they are termed as microeconomics. For example, study of revenue of a firm, study of cost of producing a good by a firm. These are the examples of microeconomics. And then macroeconomics. Whenever the problems related to choices are studied at the level of economy as a whole, then they are termed as macroeconomics. In macroeconomics, we study aggregate demand, aggregate supply, employment and unemployment level of the economy. So what is the difference between microeconomic variables and macroeconomic variables? So microeconomics studies problems at the level of individual, an individual firm, an individual household or an individual customer. Whereas macroeconomic studies economic problems at the level of economy as a whole. And the second one is it is concerned with determination of output and price for an individual firm or industry, whereas macroeconomics is concerned with determination of aggregate output and general price level in the economy. And the third one is whenever we study microeconomics, we will assume that macroeconomic variables are constant, and vice versa. Whenever we study macroeconomics, we will assume that microeconomics variables are constant. And the last one is under microeconomics, market forces of demand and supply play a significant role in the context of microeconomic problems. whereas under macroeconomics, government policies like monetary policy, fiscal policy play a significant role in the context of macroeconomic problem. So this is the difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics. So next one is positive and normative economics. So what is positive economics? Positive economics deals with economic issues which are related to past, present or future. It deals with such economic solutions which can be verified with the help of data. For example, demand falls when price rises. If the government raises the tax on beer, this will lead to a fall in profits of the brewers. We can all check the effect of these items with the help of a data or stat. So, characteristics of positive statements. First one is, these statements highlight the nature and extent of an economic problem. Means the kind of problem is and at what level it can affect the economy. We can study these 2 points with the help of positive economics. Second one is, these statements are based on facts and figures related to past, present or future. The problems related to positive economics will always be based on the data or stats. And the third one is, these statements are verifiable for truth. We can check whether the statement is true or false. It is not necessary that the statement will always be true. For example, if I would say the population of China is less than the population of India, it can be true or it can also be false. We can check this statement through the data of both these countries. This is an example of positive economics. And the last point is, these statements do not reflect any value judgment or opinions. Means they are purely based on stats or data and not based on the personal evaluation of the economist. And the next one is normative economics. So what is normative economics? Normative economics is the economics of what ought to be. Means क्या होना चाहिए. Normative economics deals with opinions of economists related to economic issues. For example, if I would say the government should increase minimum wage rate to 200 per day to combat poverty, it is an opinion of a particular economist. It is not necessary that the poverty level will be reduced or it will be eliminated if the wage rate is increased to 200 per day. Or we can say, and we can take the example of the price of milk should be rupees 100 per liter to give dairy farmers a higher living standard and to save the farming firms. This is a normative statement because it reflects value judgment or opinion of the economist. So what are the characteristics of normative statement? The first one is, this statement involves value judgment. Means these statements are purely based on opinions of the economist. Second one is, these statements lead to controversies and debates. How these statements lead to controversies and debates? As we know, the opinion of two different persons is always different. So the opinions can always create controversies and debate whenever we study normative economic issues. Third one is, these statements indicate opinion and are therefore not verifiable for a truth. And the last one is, these statements reflect what ought to be as a solution of a economic problem. Means ये स्टेटमेंट हमें ये बताएगी कि क्या चीज़ होना चाहिए या क्या चीज़ होनी चाहिए अगर हम किसी भी इकोनॉमिक प्रॉब्लम को या इकोनॉमिक इशू को सॉल्व करना चाहते हैं. थैंक यू गाइस. So the next topic is nature and types of economy. So from the nature of activities of the people, economies can be divided into two parts. First one is agricultural economy and second one is industrial economy. So agricultural economy. What is agricultural economy? It is that economy in which most of the people in the area are engaged in agricultural activities or related to agriculture. For example, in the area of Punjab, most of the people are doing activities related to agriculture. So we can say that economy of Punjab is agricultural economy. In the same way, industrial economy is that economy in which most of the people are doing activities related to industry. For example, in the state of Karnataka or Maharashtra, most of the people are doing activities related to industry. So we can say that economies of this state is industrial economy. And from the point of view of degree of control, economies can be of three types. First one is controlled economy, second one is free economy, and the last one is mixed economy. So what is controlled economy? Controlled economy is that economy in which natural resources of a country are controlled by the government only. For example, economies of Russia, China and North Korea can be termed as controlled economy or centrally planned economies. Second one is free economies. Free economies are those economies in which the natural resources are controlled by the private enterprises. For example, economies of USA and UK can be termed as free economy. And the last one is mixed economy. Mixed economy is that economy in which some of the resources are controlled by the government and some are controlled by the private enterprises. For example, economy of India can be termed as mixed economy. Thank you guys.